Today we are going to discuss about the one of the very important topic that is accelerated ripening of cheese. You have already go through the different variety of cheese. You know that in ripened variety of cheese we have to keep the cheese for a certain period of time at different temperature and humidity in order to get the distinct flavor of the cheese. So the time temperature combination definitely depends upon the type of cheese. So accelerated ripening, why the came into the topic is that why we are looking for accelerated ripening of cheese. So the major reason is that when we ripen the cheese, definitely we can actually hold the cheese for a longer period of time, and that will take time and space and take cumbersome and energy intensive. That means, so the conventional method of ripening of cheese, particularly hard variety of cheese, is time and space consuming, cumbersome, and energy intensive. So we are prolong the first one, prolong the ripening period, have great economic concern to the cheese industry. Why? Because it locks the money invested, but also increases the cost of production due to the application of refrigeration system and maintaining the required temperature humidity for providing the proper curing temperature for the cheese. And extended ripening periods involves increased cost of in refrigerated storage, apart from considerable loss of weight and higher capital lost. So you can understand that accelerated ripening is essential so that we can get the cheese within a short period of time, so that we can actually make more profitable to the dairy industry by reducing the time lag to get the flavor of the cheese. So because you can see that the cheese demand of cheese is throughout the year. If we are not wrapping the cheese fastly, we cannot meet the supply. We cannot meet the demand of the cheese to the world or country. So that is why we are actually looking for accelerated ripening of cheese, because when we not accelerate the ripening of cheese, definitely we have to lose money, because the production of cheese, after production of cheese, we have to keep the cheese under refrigeration system, and which requires huge investment, and beside that considerable loss of weight loss and higher capital cost is actually involved. So it is not advisable to keep the cheese for a longer period, or that is why we are going for accelerated ripening of cheese. There are different method of ripening of cheese. So we have already know that different type of flavor. You know about 200 flavoring compounds are responsible for peculiar characteristic flavor of the cheese. So what are the different flavoring compounds? I have already told you different flavoring compounds are aldehydes, methyl ketones, fatty acid, lactones, and esters, amines, and sulfur compounds, phenols, terpenes, alpha dicarbonyl, and related compounds. So these are the major 10 compounds which having potential role in the flavor. So this I have already told you, cheese flavor is actually complex mixture of flavor compounds. So we have to we have to decide how we can make the cheese ripening fast, so that all these compounds which is made the cheese a specific flavor, so it comes into the cheese. So aldehyde, methyl ketones, fatty acid, lactones, ester, amines, sulfur compound, phenols, terpenes, alpha dicarbonyl, and related compounds are actually the major compound for the cheese flavor. So when we look the ripening of the cheese, I already told you that ripening, when we prolong the ripening, that definitely there is a loss of cheese industry, because huge investment is actually blocked. Another one is extended ripening period, increased cost due to refrigerated storage, and further we are also lose some weight and higher capital loss, and also to fulfill the demand throughout the year for the consumers. So there are different methods by which we can actually definitely we can actually accelerate the ripening of cheese. So one of the method for accelerated ripening of cheese is elevated temperature. Elevated temperature, that suppose you already know that in case of cheddar cheese we are actually providing temperature 10 to 16 degrees centigrade with 30% relative humidity. Then in case of Swiss cheese, the temperature time combination is different. In case of Gouda cheese, the time temperature combination is different from the Swiss cheese. So in case of any variety of cheese, particularly for the cottage, for the cheddar cheese, when we elevated the temperature, when we keep the cheese block in the ripening room at 16 degrees centigrade in comparison to 8 degrees centigrade, definitely we can reduce the maturation time up to more than 50%. So we get the full flavor of the cheese just elevating the temperature of the cheese ripening room. We can get the flavor of the cheese what we get in the 6 months. So definitely we can reduce the maturation times, and we can get the full flavor in the cheese in a shorter period of time. So increase when we reduce the temperature, there is an increase in soluble nitrogen, and about 90% of free fatty acid in Manchego cheese, which is also one of a variety of cheese, at 20 degrees centigrade, or if it is compared with the cheese which is ripened at 5 degrees centigrade. But it is not widely used in the cheese industry because it requires strict sanitary condition in the plant. If this is not adopted properly, if there is any fluctuation in the temperature, there may be chances of growth of undesirable microorganisms, which leads to spoil the cheese. That is why this is actually not practically. This method is not actually being done by most part of the cheese industry, by the most of the cheese industry. Another one is that utilization of cheese slurries. We have already know the cheese slurries. Cheese slurries possessing the strong cheese flavor that are added to the green fresh curd during the conventional cheese making procedure to accelerate the ripening process. So it is often, if we are adding the cheese slurries, then there may be chances of off flavor. So utilization of cheese slurries is mostly suited for the processed cheese, cheese spread, cheese powder, and other cheese flavored foods. So there are so many compounds where we are actually using cheese flavor. The cheese slurries can be obtained by incubating the cheddar cheese curd with increased moisture content, that is 60%, at elevated temperature 30 degrees centigrade for a week period to attain the desirable intense flavor. Recently, we can say flavor development in cheese slurry could be accelerated by supplementing with the reduced glutathione up to 100 ppm and 3% NaCl and sodium citrate. So these are the compounds we have already told you that glutathione 100 ppm and 3% sodium chloride or sodium citrate will accelerate the flavor development in cheese slurries. So cheese slurries is also one of the method by which we can actually increase the flavoring development in the cheese. But this is mostly suited for the processes spread and cheese powder and other cheese flavored compounds. So this is the another methods by which we can actually also increase the flavor of the cheese. But I have already told you that we can actually, when we are not conscious, not follow the proper time, then definitely we can getting the off flavor in the cheese. So cheese slurries should be processed very meticulously, and it should be added to the green cheese curd during the conventional method of cheese ripening, the conventional method of procedure of cheese making. Hai. So these are the points we have to discuss. Another one is that incorporation, that is a starter adjunct. You already know the starter culture. A starter culture is already know that is used in the cheese for getting the desirable flavor development in the cheese, and also for the proper renating action of the curd. So adjunct culture. What is adjunct culture? Adjunct culture is those culture which are actually used for along with the cheese culture or starter culture, to further accelerate the flavor development in the cheese. So they are actually basically involved in the proteolysis and lipolysis of the cheese, which may lead to the different flavoring compound to the cheese. So that is there are so many bacteria, there are so many bacteria which are actually being used in the cheese for the speed up the or accelerate the ripening of the cheese. So so addition of Lactobacillus casei, Lactobacillus plantarum to the cheddar cheese milk to the level of 10 to the power 5 to 10 to the power 6 CFE per ml definitely increase the free amino acid to attain the highest flavoring scores. So this culture, Lactobacillus casei, Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus helveticus, these are actually used to further accelerate the ripening process of the cheese, and we can ultimately get the cheese and full flavor within the short period of time. So this the basic role of this LKSI or starter agent in the casein degradation, you can say proteolysis and also lipolysis, and which ultimately leads to the different flavoring compounds which may retain aldehyde, ketones, fatty acid, and ester, amines, sulfur compounds. है ना? So these are phenolic compounds. They are actually making the cheese definitely be at definitely acceptable level. So there is a, it has been noticed from the different study that if we are prepare the cheese from the cow milk, so there is no need of addition of a starter adjunct. It has been advisable by the different scientists of this field. So, but when we prepare the cheese from the buffalo milk, then definitely there is a need of the addition of a starter adjunct along with the starter culture. So starter adjunct is generally used in the cheese or used in the cheese along with the starter culture when we prepare the cheese from the buffalo milk. So because buffalo milk are actually retaining the low moisture retention in the curd, and that requires higher rate of ripening, because if ripening or proteolysis or lipolysis is not fast, then they may be spoiled during the in the ripening room. So in the case of buffalo cheddar cheese, buffalo gouda cheese, or buffalo emmental cheese, or buffalo feta cheese, definitely we have to add a starter adjunct along with the starter culture. So we have already noticed even in the, we have also worked on the feta cheese from buffalo milk by using microbial rennet. We have also found that if we are not adding a starter adjunct to the cheese culture, then we are not getting the flavor in the within a span of time in which we are getting the full flavor of the cheese. So it is always advisable in the case of buffalo milk, you must add a starter adjunct along with the starter culture, normal starter culture, what we are taking for the cheddar cheese, Gouda cheese. So definitely addition of a starter culture with the like L-Kazai, L. helveticus, definitely we can improve the flavor, body, and texture of the buffalo milk cheddar cheese, Gouda cheese, and other variety of cheese also. And another one is that use of variable and especially fish soft culture, L. helveticus, definitely improve the ripening index and sensory quality of Iranian white brine cheese. So it has already been reported by various workers that if we are using the L. helveticus, the freeze soft culture, we can definitely reduce the ripening period of the cheese. And it has also been noticed in the case of Iranian white cheese and also in feta cheese in my case also. So starter junk is essential, particularly for the buffalo milk, and also when we add starter adjunct along with the culture, we can definitely improve the water holding capacity of the buffalo milk cheese curd. So when we increase the retention of the moisture level in the buffalo milk cheese curd, we can definitely retains the starter culture, residue of rennet. So we can actually definitely we can actually fast the proteolysis, like glycolysis, lipolysis, and proteolysis, which leads to the different flavoring compound of the cheese. And the flavoring compounds is actually depends upon the what are the ripening period, what are the condition of ripening, what is the temperature of humidity, what is the temperature of ripening room. So these are the conditions which actually decide the extent of flavor of the cheese. So this is have to discuss. Another one is stimulation of starter cells. So we have also been noticed that growth of starter cells. So sometimes you can observe that there is a certain enzymes or hydrolyzed cells which is also being used to the starter cell itself, so that we can actually accelerate the starter activity. And when we accelerate the starter activity, definitely we can promote the biochemical changes like glycolysis, proteolysis, and lipolysis in the cheese, and which may lead to the different flavoring compound in the cheese. So growth of starter cells is stimulated by the addition of enzymes. There are so many enzymes. We have already told you that there are several type of compounds we are actually used for the flavoring of the acidic flavoring of the cheese. So different type of enzymes, commercially enzymes which are actually available in the market, they are naturulase. Naturulase is actually consisting protease and lipase enzymes. Flavorase, flavorase is actually consisting lipase and protease enzyme. And maxillec, that is they are containing beta galactosidase. So these are the enzymes which are actually available in the market. So it is actually being used for stimulating the starter cells to the cheese meal. So this is actually used for the addition of cheese meal. So ripening of emmental cheese, ripening of emmental type cheese, accelerated by using starter grown to the high cell numbers in media and stimulated with supplemented with the protein hydrolytes and meloprotease from the Micrococcus caseolyticus. So this is the emmental cheese, that is Swiss cheese. We can use also this method for accelerate the ripening of the cheese. Another one is that modified starter cultures. What are the modified starter cultures? So modified starter culture are, that is the culture which are actually especially treated. Anna, that is actually heat soaked or freeze soaked culture. They are actually heat or feed soaked cultures, and modified starter culture is specifically designed so that we can get that desirable flavor and desirable texture and sensory characteristic in the cheese. So the starter culture, they are actually modified by the some treatments like by freezing or we heat soak. So addition of modified or attenuated starter culture definitely increase the number of starter cells without causing detrimental effect on the acidification schedule. So when we have to, you already know that if there is any disturbance in the acidification schedule, then we cannot actually provide the condition for the proper renating of the cheese meal. So we have to